In this region of East and Southeast Europe, we see a very disturbing pattern of governments almost everywhere stepping back from the basic rules of democracy and the rule of law. So we have a crumbling both in the system of independent justice and in the safety of journalists and press freedom in action. And I think that what we see is on the legal side, more and more violations of the basic rules, the European Convention on Human Rights, which all 47 European states have signed up to. And very often journalists are the ones who are in the firing line. They're being attacked, they're being jailed, they're being prosecuted, they're being harassed in many ways. And the system is no longer protecting them. And I think politically what we see is a lot of these governments, led perhaps by the example of Vladimir Putin in Russia, but also followed by Mr. Erdogan in Turkey and even Mr. Orban in Hungary, opting for a kind of their own version of democracy, which very often rides roughshod over the basic rules. And the way we see this, I think, is not only that the media are being suppressed or taken over, either coerced or co-opted, so they have very little choice, and very often violence or exclusion is the alternative if they don't obey. But also all the underpinnings of civil society are being loosened. The election monitors, the independent of the regulatory authorities, the institutions as a whole, clamping down on human rights. We see, for example, in Azerbaijan, where not only do they jail journalists on patently false charges, but they've really gone for the leaders of all the main NGOs, from election monitors to human rights. And this is a very bad drift in this region. What we need to do is to get back to the rules which the countries have committed to, particularly the European Convention. It is a binding treaty. The European Court of Human Rights has an excellent framework of legal protections, not just for journalists, but for human rights generally. And the way that is now being ignored or trampled on is very dangerous for Europe as a whole.